Endocrine disruptors are chemicals that act on the endocrine system and may have an adverse effect on reproduction or development. Most are man-made, but there are a number of endocrine disruptors that are naturally occurring. The endocrine system involves endocrine glands that release hormones into the bloodstream. Endocrine glands include adrenal glands, hypothalamus, ovaries, pancreas, pituitary gland, testes, and the thyroid gland. Some studies show that breast cancer rates are increasing. Studies also suggest that girls in the US are entering puberty at younger ages than they used to. Some believe that endocrine disruptors are involved in these trends. Some studies have shown that testicular cancer rates are rising worldwide. Studies also suggest that sperm counts have fallen, especially in developed countries. Some believe that endocrine disruptors may be involved in these health changes.
There are specific categories of endocrine disruptors that you are exposed to in your daily life, which include pesticides such as DDT, plant hormones, PCBs, BPA, phthalates, and dioxin. Dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, otherwise known as DDT, was the most commonly used pesticide before its ban in 1972. It is still found widespread in the environment. DDT has been shown to affect women's menstrual cycle, fertility, and increases the risk of spontaneous abortion. DDT is found in the soil where it then works its way up the food chain into plants and animals. DDT also accumulates in the sediment in rivers, lakes, and coastal areas where it then contaminates the fish that we eat. You can limit your exposure by avoiding meat and fish, especially those that are higher on the food chain.
BPA is a chemical used to make certain types of plastics called epoxy resins and polycarbonates. In animal studies, BPA has been shown to cause reproductive problems in males and females. Animal studies have also shown that BPA may increase cell division in certain types of estrogen-sensitive cancer cells. BPA is found in many plastics and the lining of aluminum cans. People are exposed when eating food or drinking water that has been stored in a container made of BPA. You may limit your exposure by avoiding products labeled with a number 7, and looking instead for plastic products labeled with a number 1, 2, 4, or 5. You can also try using glass Tupperware and water bottles instead of plastic ones.
Plant hormones, also called phytoestrogens, act like a weaker version of our body's estrogen. Research about the health effects of phytoestrogens has been inconclusive. Some studies show that they are protective against cancer, and others show that they may increase the risk of certain cancers. Some studies also suggest that exposure to high amounts of phytoestrogens may be related to infertility. People are exposed mostly through eating foods that are rich in phytoestrogens, such as soy products, other legumes, some grains, citrus fruits, licorice, and fennel. You can limit your exposure by trying soy alternatives such as almond or rice milk.
Phthalates are used in manufacturing to make products softer and more flexible. Some scientists believe that the accumulation of phthalates in our body is linked with earlier onset of puberty in girls and increased risks of testicular cancer in men. Many scientists say that it is unclear whether or not phthalates are in fact endocrine disruptors. You are exposed to phthalates through many everyday products including food packaging, cosmetics, soap, shampoos, lotions, nail polish, paints, adhesives, detergents, cleaning products, and children's toys. You can limit your exposure by looking for products that are labeled phthalate-free and by making some of your own cleaning and cosmetic products at home with simple ingredients.
Polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs, are industrial chemicals commonly found in lubricants, coatings, and insulating materials. They have been banned from manufacturing use since 1977, but are still found in the environment. PCBs can affect thyroid function, female menstrual cycle, and can affect child growth. Help to limit your exposure by ensuring proper disposal of old electronics and other hazardous waste that may contain PCBs.
Dioxins are a group of chemicals produced as byproducts during industrial processes with chlorine-containing compounds. They are produced during the chlorine bleaching of pulp and paper, the manufacture of some pesticides, and during the burning of other wastes. Some studies show a link between exposure to dioxins and thyroid problems, male infertility, and certain cancers. Other studies show that there is no link. Dioxins escape into our soil and water. From these sources, the dioxins accumulate in many animals and humans, especially in fatty tissue. Some sources of human exposure include eating beef, fish, and dairy products. You can limit your exposure by decreasing your consumption of these foods, especially those high in fat.